All right, another episode, Road to the Title 3, taking place. We get the extracurriculars this time. We get some behind-the-scene trading footage. We even get an appearance by Emmanuel Muniz. And a ton of OGs come in. And on top of that, we get 3 fights. Man, probably the best episode, I think, of this entire series. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, that's a tough one. You didn't give me a heads up on that question, bro. Fuck. Nah, I'm not gonna say the best episode. I enjoyed the behind the scenes stuff, but the fights weren't the best that I've seen in an episode. I'm gonna respectfully disagree.
All right. I think the totality of it, I enjoy the extracurricular stuff. I enjoyed seeing the OGs that they brought in. The commentary that we got from Frank and Dana, I think was actually great as well. I mean, I think it's fairly safe to say, couldn't this easily be an hour show? Like half hour seems to be boom, it just blows up and we're done. Like there seems like there's a ton of content. Every time we talk to the strikers, they're like, hey, you didn't see that part. They didn't add this into it. It just seems like there's so much there. And it's just so riveting and it's done incredibly fast. And I think this could easily be, an hour-long feature. And I think everybody would still be just as gripped and riveting throughout the entire process. So I'm excited, man. Like I said, I really like this week's episode. I think it's got a lot of flair. I like the personalities. We had a Canadian, just lots on the go, my man. We had Darius the Destroyer coming back.
That was great.
Victory.
To see Darius was great. For those of you who are tuning in, I have to eat my words a little bit and pull my foot out of my mouth. Darius was supposed to come on the show. Unfortunately, he's got some personal stuff he's got to take care of. So we wish him the best. We will definitely get him on here soon. But unfortunately, Darius the Destroyer will not be with us tonight. But I was very happy to see him. And also, of course, which we'll talk about later, but for him to get back in that win column. But not back in Power Slap. This is his first time in the win column.
100%. Let's bring in an OG, Makini Manu. How you doing, my man?
Hey, I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Awesome, man. What do you think of the show so far?
I'll be honest, I skip episodes. So I'm not really I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a lot of drama in the house more than I've seen before, really. And so to me, I'm not really I just like to see the fights.
I guess without the supers, there's not a lot of interest on your behalf, is there?
No, because I'm never gonna fight any of these guys, so I'm just like, oh, cool. I'll cheer them on social media and say, hey, you're great on the show, even though I didn't watch you.
Yeah. But from what you've seen, have you noticed any differences from when you were there on season 2 versus season 3? Either the way that they're getting the guys ready, or I know there's a different house. You're a little envious of that, or did you see the slap machine that they have? They've got a new power slap branded machine inside the house, which looks kind of cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Like their setup looks nice or looks cooler than what we had, but besides that, I think I'm actually excited to see all the lightweights fighting. They've been pretty entertaining. I'm not like when I hear lightweight and slapping, you don't think that they're gonna do anything exciting, but then I think like the first episode, everybody got knocked out. So that just coming out from that, just like it's pretty exciting to see the other weight classes thrive, but without super heavyweights, I'm biased, so
Yeah,
big guys in there.
for sure, man. I don't want to say you've kind of been the forgotten guy, but we haven't seen you in a little bit. Are you chomping at the bit, want to get back up there?
Yeah, absolutely. Had issues with the passport, so they took me off I was supposed to fight in Abu Dhabi, but now I was told maybe the next fight. We'll see what happens with that. They haven't announced Power Top 10 yet, so I don't want to say I'm on that fight if I'm not.
Gotcha.
But Abu Dhabi would have been cool, but um, I got my passport, but it hasn't come in yet, and so they're booking flights like like a month ago. So I was
Gotcha.
unfortunate not being able to get on that, but I'm excited to see what that is. But I'm kind of happy I'm not on that card because I don't want to be on a card where I'm with a super heavyweight fighting for the title if it's not me fighting for it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'd all love to see you. I mean, obviously, if it didn't work out, it didn't work out, but there'll be another day for you. I know there's going to be a lot of opportunity for you in the future. You've shown your skill set so far. What are you doing right now? Like, are you training every day? You're refining your skill set. We're going to see anything different from you next time?
Yeah, I honestly think you'll be seeing a lot smaller Big Mac. So that's kind of sad. Right now I'm close to that 390, so I'm kind of missing 400 pounds. Yeah, but life is a lot better being under 400, and I actually am a
Dude,
coach at a place called D1 Training, and so I gotta get in shape so that my clients want to keep working out with me. So
yeah. I can tell
um,
you, man, I don't believe you. Last time you told me you'd weigh in at 380 in the pre-fight interview, and you came in at 420, my man. So I don't believe you on this
hey,
one.
you're right. It's all right. It's okay. You'll see it on socials when I post videos.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I don't forget, my man. But Ding, see that smiling face? You want to talk to Mr. Makini Manu?
Of course, man. Listen, let's talk about you, Mac. We talked to Danny. We talked to Slap Dog, a couple guys in your division. Obviously, we talked a few months ago about you kind of being passed over for the person that you beat for the championship. Fast forward, Dumpling comes in, beats number 9, gets the title shot. Here you are, still kind of sitting. What's going on, man? What do you think is up? I mean, what are your thoughts on this, on the way this is all unfolded?
um, just naturally, I wanna, like, my first reaction was complaining. Just like, dang, can't believe they're passing me over. But I mean, I've been in pro sports since 2018, and I got to look at it that it's a business. So I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not popular enough, but I'm telling you that I sure would watch Dumpling and Crazy Hawaiian fight on stage, face head to head, more than watching me against Crazy Hawaiian. And even though I love myself more than I love Dumpling, the fact is that, and I don't know if it's common knowledge, but Polynesians, they just don't go against each other as hard as we go against anybody else. Like, even when you watch the Uncle Micah fight versus the Crazy Hawaiian, like, it kind of looked like they weren't blown, like, going crazy, like how uh Crazy went against Danny. Like, crazy. Like, I felt like he was throwing hits harder than I've seen him throw before. In that super heavyweight bout against Danny. But like, it's entertainment value, and it's hard to get my head to wrap around that. Just be like, dang, I'm not that person. So I'm working on my power or my strike, because I know I got a chin, but now I just got to put people away next time I'm on stage. So I know that if I'm not exciting, ain't nobody want to watch. That's what I feel about it. I can be as mad as I want to be, but even though I'm undefeated, am I undefeated and were my fights entertaining? Maybe the first one. Second one was easy. Third one was a weird disqualification. So it's I have to be real with the situation as well. So I'm bummed, of course, but it is what it is. But when I get my time, I'm gonna make sure I don't waste it, and make sure that I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody will could do anything but respect that, especially you looking within yourself and saying, you know what, I think that this is an entertaining fight. Um, I'm gonna put you on the spot for a second.
Okay.
Who do you got in that fight, man?
Honestly, I don't. I think I'm gonna go back to WWE, right? Because I love wrestling. I think it's gonna be something to where it's a draw, so he doesn't lose his title, and then it goes into a Dumpling versus Crazy Hawaiian repeat to see who really wins. You know. And the thing is just, even though Dumpling, like, I've only seen him fight guys that aren't really impressive to me. Like the number 9 ranked, I don't think he has a chin. Period. And he's going against Crazy Hawaiian, and I know that, or I heard that he's beat Zales apparently,
No, he lost his L's.
or he lost to Zales. Okay, so they both lost to Zales. And so I think that they're gonna get a draw. That's my output on it. I hope Crazy wins, but I think it's gonna be a draw. First
And we
draw
saw,
ever.
yeah, that'll be I'm gonna hope that doesn't happen, because that would be a rough way to end an event that's so
Yeah.
big. But we saw you a couple days ago, man. You did something really cool, unique, something that we didn't know you could do. And if I'm being honest, you sounded pretty damn good. You were singing the national anthem at, I don't want to mess up what event it was, so I'll let you talk about that. But tell us about how that all came together and what made you want to do that with your son.
So last Thursday, I threw the first pitch at a minor league baseball game called Lake Elsinore Storm out here in California. And so they had me throw first pitch, and I told them, hey, if you ever need a singer, I'm always available. And so Sunday they had their first round of their championship games, and so they said, hey, would you like to sing? And I was like, sure. And so I went, and they let me bring my family, and then I sang the national anthem at the championship game with the Lake Elsinore Storm. And I was nervous, but luckily I got to have my son in my arms and close my eyes and sing as good as possible.
Like I said, if I'm being honest, like if it sounded a little crazy, I would tell you, I would never go up there and do that, because I know it would be more hurtful than it would be beneficial to the crowd. But is that something in your hidden talents, or you just kind of put yourself out there, or are you a person that you sing in the shower and people tell you it sounds pretty good?
Actually, I grew up with music. My mom is very musically inclined. My dad is musically inclined. We had a cappella group from when I was like 8 till 16. So I would always sing with my brothers and sisters, and it was a normal thing. I grew up in an orchestra playing upright bass. So I'm classically trained with in orchestra and singing. So I read music like I read the English language. So it was actually what I did first before I did sports, and then I became Big Mac. I got big, and then I was like, oh, time for football.
Well, it's an interesting tidbit about you and your background. I mean, like I said, kudos to you, man. It takes a lot of guts, and I'm sure your son takes a lot away from seeing you being willing to do that and him being able to be a part of it. I thought it was extremely dope. Final thing I'll say, and I'll let you answer this how you want. You look like you're missing something on the top of your head. I'm just curious if my eyes are deceiving me.
No, yeah, I cut the mohawk, and now I got me a taper on the sides. I had to cut it off. I'm sure I shot a movie, and I needed to cut my hair for it. I can't say what it is, but and so I was like, get paid or not. And I was like, no hair. Here we go. I'm ready.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I respect that you can't say anything, but when you can, you know who to talk to, man. We'd love
Oh,
to.
absolutely.
We'd love to help you get that info out. Court, anything else?
I'm good, my man. Great to see you being busy. Obviously at the baseball game, doing your extracurricular talents, man. It's a pleasure as always to have you on. Glad to hear you're making money. Will we ever see you do a wrestling appearance again? Are you still training at all?
Yeah, so like Power Stop got to hurry up because Bloodline is popping right now. So
Okay.
and I mean Solo is bringing people in left and right. So all I gotta say is Power Stop, book me an event, or you're gonna lose me to SmackDown, man. But I'll take SmackDown in a heartbeat because I'm not actually getting slapped like that.
Yeah. Awesome, buddy. Appreciate you, man. Much love. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right, guys. Talk to you later.
All right. Take care, man. All right, then Makini Manu. Great seeing him again. The Paulies always showing up, supporting us. They've been, great to us. The strikers, the fans, everybody involved in that has been, top notch across the board. So really great to see that. How do you want to do this next one, Ding? What do you want to do? How do you want to transition here?
Let's go to your neck of the woods.
My neck of the woods?
In keeping with the schedule, let's go to your neck of the woods.
All right. Vince, what's up, my man?
Hey, what's happening, guys?
Dude, if you let me down, I'm going to look like the biggest a-hole in the world. I have talked you up from the beginning, the entire time. You have the entire nation and my reputation on the line, all right? No pressure, buddy. No pressure.
Okay, well, that's good. You're not the only one. So, I mean, pressure makes diamonds. So we'll see what we can do here.
Awesome, man. Watching that back, how great does it feel?
Oh, it feels good. I mean, seeing like it was crazy because like in the moment you forget the little things and just like adrenaline's pumping. So yeah, finally getting to see it back, it was quite crazy. I actually thought I hit my head on the table on the way down. So I'm glad I didn't. But yeah, that the first crack was something else, man. He if he could have just stepped back a little bit, like he's dangerous. He's definitely a dangerous welterweight coming up.
Man, that first round, like, what were you thinking at that point? Like, were you thinking like, man, this is going to be a long night?
It's always how I start fights. I don't know what it is. It's like I slowly, like, I don't know. I need that first slap to really wake me up and get me into it. And then after that, it's like I slowly progress as the fight goes on. So, got to make it interesting. Got to keep it fresh. And yeah, never count me out. That's all I got to say, even when I do hit the canvas.
100%. Looking back at it, the ref, definitely gave you every ability for that match to continue.
Oh yeah.
Like how much were you worried? Because I mean, it went right to the very end. I didn't know, what was going to happen there, like if it was going to go or not. And he said, okay, you're good. Like, are you cognitive of it, or was there a moment there that kind of where you've blurred and maybe not remember the rest of the match from that point on?
No, like I definitely remember hitting the canvas, and the first thought was pop back up. Like it was just like that instinctual. And then I just remember hearing Turp like stay down, and I could kind of feel my feet not quite there yet, and I was like, okay, no, just take a second, breathe. And then I was kind of like just walking myself through it, and then I heard 6, 7. I started feeling good. I could feel my feet underneath me. I'm like, okay, just stand up on 6, make it look as good as possible because I was worried about the judges, and I forget the ref's name, but he ended up making me walk to the left a little bit. So I was like, it was good to like make sure that I was fully there. And of course, yeah, let me continue. And I was, fortunate for that. And I'm glad that he did, because I felt like I definitely was ready to continue and deliver a good blow. And I did. So, yeah.
Talk to me about Rob's chin and his toughness.
Yeah. Well, Rod had an interesting defense, honestly. Like, especially for the first round, he kind of like his role it was really interesting to me. But yeah, like the second round, he didn't quite do it. And I got him read on the button where where he definitely said that, that was a good one. And so I was kind of like, okay. So I knew I kind of had him there, and I was like, okay, if I can just kind of do this one more time, hopefully I can drop him and kind of even out the scoreboard. And then of course he clubbed me. So I was like, okay, maybe this is looking a little bit better in my favor, but I still felt like I had to drop him in order to kind of, more or less get that one back and boost it and guarantee that win. But yeah, still split decision. So, I mean, it was close, a little closer than I would have liked, to be quite honest.
Let's play the fight. Can you see it?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You can see it. Everything good?
Yep.
Awesome. So both you guys coming in under the weight cap, seeing obviously you're striking first. Talk to me what's going through your mind here.
Oh yeah, I was happy that I won the coin toss, and I'm just running through my basic things that I do to make sure my distance is right, my measure's good, and then I'm going to be hitting clean and hopefully dropping my opponent. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that looked almost high, but it's like I said, he kind of rolled, and how he rolled almost could have been maybe a flinch. I mean, I think I can't forget this ref's name, but I think he even mentioned that in the fight as well, that you got to be careful because you're going to get called the next time or something like that. So.
Correct. Yeah.
Which is good that we got the warning and stuff. So, nothing against that. That's good. But yeah, this was the money shot right here.
Yeah. I mean,
Rob's distance was really good.
I mean, very unassuming guy for sure. I mean, he comes in and, he's got the bottle, he's got the smoke, but the guy's throwing lasers like that.
The dude, like you would never expect it. And like, I mean, like, you see him in the house and like the dude's eating raw onions and like just dark chocolate and just like you're thinking to yourself, like, there's no way that this guy can take a shot. And then I mean, like him and Tyler, like he moved on. I'm like, okay, like obviously don't underestimate this guy, because I think everybody is, and sure enough, he's going to surprise everybody. And sure enough, I'm glad I thought that, because I kind of underestimated Dom a little bit, but for this fight, I definitely wasn't underestimating Ron at all. And I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah,
because he definitely brought it.
Here's the strike that you believe was the best of the fight. You did more damage this first time than the first round. What was the adjustment that you think you made?
Honestly, I moved my foot positioning a little bit on it just because how he had his angle of his jaw. So I just kind of changed a few angles, and it was good. I had him slurring there for a little bit, so it was. And he even admitted that it was a wild strike. It was a good one.
Yeah, so we see him come back here. Obviously we get, the commentating from Dana and Frank.
Which is awesome. I think that is just incredible. I'm glad that they did that.
100%. Yeah, it's something that I enjoy too. So he gets called for it here. Deducting of a point. So you kind of think this is the turning point for you, where you say your confidence kind of changed at that moment, where you're like, okay, now it's almost at an even playing field now with that knockdown, and now that you've got that opportunity to finish it here in the final rounds.
Yeah, that was definitely in my head. I was like, okay, as long as I can stay on my feet and as long as I can deliver, a massive blow again, I should have this in the bag. But again, you never know, right? So I was hoping to really just drop him and end the night. You know what I mean? I'm always going for the finish, but hats off to him. He's a tough dude, and don't underestimate him by any means.
Yeah, 100%. That third strike looks very, very reminiscent of the first strike. He kind of went back there, and Rod obviously showing off his his strong chin. And almost that lackluster demeanor. I mean, it's quite interesting. It's not your typical athlete, but the guy's going up there, man, and truly performing here. So
that's just it. He has his style and it works for him. So I mean, I have to give my hats off to him.
So going to the decision here, how confident are you?
I would say I was probably 60-40 for me. I felt like the club was really a good, it really sealed the deal. It gave me that extra point, because that second round, you could have went either way. And I think that's how the one judge had it anyways, was that second round was kind of the debating round. And it kind of, so yeah, but luckily I pulled it out. And I think I gave him stronger blows. It was just a matter of him being able just to tough through it. And his defense was good. Like he had a really good role and he was good at it. So, I mean, it's like I said, I got to give my hats off to him. Hell of an opponent.
Awesome, man. One last one for me. Since the house, you obviously had some time here. They've edited and stuff up. What are you doing now differently than you did before you went in the house?
So I would definitely say like my strength and conditioning has changed, like my regimen. I've definitely made a lot of adjustments. Like my program kind of going into the house was it was pretty lax compared to what I'm doing now. I'm definitely, focused up on certain things, and I'm still going through a body recomposition too, trying to lower the body fat percentage, all that fun stuff. But yeah, no, it's been going really well. I'm a little bit bigger than I was originally, so which is good, but I'm still, within weight to cut and to make weight or the weight limit, the 171 or whatever, 171, whatever it is. But yeah, so, I'm pretty confident that my next match you're going to see a lot different version of me. And even my defense, I'm changed up. My strike has changed very slightly. I saw a lot of the comments actually on the live stream that everybody was really enjoying my slap, so I appreciate all that. But I think you're going to see a little something different on the live event when I finally get the call. So be looking forward to that.
Awesome, my man. Ding, over to you.
Vince, great to talk to you again, man. Congratulations on a hard-fought victory.
Appreciate you.
You had a weird situation, right? Because you ended up switching coaches due to both of you guys losing your opponents. What were the major differences in between Austin Turpin and Robert Trujillo?
The biggest difference I would say would be Turp was more like he would build you up on defense, it just differently. Like, you know what I mean? Like yeah, Robert's more of a stoic, you know what I mean, calm, collected, but like, when he says something, you listen. You know what I mean? He's just that kind of guy. Where Turp, he's gonna say whatever is on his mind, and you know what I mean. You just gotta kind of roll with it and just kind of like, you know what I mean, work with his energy. You know what I mean? He just has that energy. So and I, even going out, I kind of told him like, on offense, I just want to be calm and just focus in and locked in, and then on defense, go nuts. I want to hear you is what I told him. And that's exactly what he did. And even if you watch the video back, that literally, that's exactly what he did. And it was perfect. It was exactly what I needed. And it worked. It paid off. So felt bad giving Robert the L, but unfortunately business is business. And I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah, so talking about kind of your transition from round 1 to round 2, obviously, you take a little bit of a tumble in round 1. So if we're scoring that, it would likely be 10-9 Rod, right? Then you go into round 2, you clearly win that round, but then Rod also gets the club, which now puts it at a 10-8. So you go 19-18 going into round 3, which means for him, I mean, you have to get a 10-8 to do anything but draw the fight. Yeah. Meaning you would have to lose by, you'd have to have that 8 and he'd have to have 10, which really makes it hard, so I think for me, the foul was the turning point in the match where it was like, now it's almost impossible for you to win this fight unless it's got to be a stoppage or he's got to either drop you, in emphatic fashion, or you have to foul also. But Corey talked about it earlier. You start round 1, you get dropped. For you to come back that way is impressive. And not only that, but also win. I was a little disappointed and surprised that they don't actually tell you the scores. When you hear Kerry Hadley announce the winner, they don't tell us what the judges.
No, I was even asking Rod in DMs, like, do you remember what the scores were? I don't even think they read them out. It was just like they went, judge so-and-so Rod, judge so-and-so me. And then winner by split decision. And you know what I mean? My heart was racing out of my chest. I'm like, no way, split decision. I was getting flashbacks of my amateur boxing career. Like my second fight, same thing happened. And it was like, oh no. I was like, you know what I mean? And then luckily I got the nod and I was happy about it. But I mean, yeah, it was a lot closer than I was expecting. And it kind of threw me off when I was like, okay, I thought for sure I had round 2. And then I thought I had round 3 as well, because, I thought I ate it better and I delivered a, more damaging strike. Is how the kind of the rule sets go, right? So, yeah, in my mind, I kind of had it, but it was, it was always closer than I thought. You know what I mean? Especially with the drop, I thought, well, maybe they gave an extra point to him with the drop. So I wasn't really sure on how the scorecards were really going to be drawn out, and then of course split decision. So, yeah, it was a wild one, and I definitely need to kind of look into that so that I can definitely score the match a little bit better in my favor for the next time if we do come down to that point. But it's like I said, I'm always going for the finish. That's the goal. I'd rather be made a highlight or be making highlights than going to the cards or leaving it to the decision of the judges, because you never know, right? So
yeah, very entertaining fight nonetheless. I mean, so now that brings you up to 2-0. What's next for you, man? There's a 10 ranked guys in the welterweight division.
Well, yeah, I'm waiting on the call, and I'm ready for anybody. Well, you know what I mean? Like anybody in the top 10, I'm ready to get that live event experience underneath my belt. And depending on a fight or two, I think if I can get go 3-0, 4-0, I should be up there in the contention talk, and hopefully get my shot at Blackburn or whoever's champ at that time. So. But I definitely think Blackburn's going to be champ for a while. I think he's going to be the first, true champ in our division. And I can't wait to have that match when it does come time. So it'll be a legacy match, and it'll be one for the ages. I think me and Blackburn will put one hell of a show on. You know what I mean? And he never disappoints. And you'll never expect a boring fight from me. Let's put it that way. If I haven't shown it already, anyways.
Yeah, man. Again, congratulations, and I think you've built up. I saw the comments also in the live show, and I think people are excited to see you fight. And again, it was a drag 'em out war with Rod, and so hats off to you, man. Congrats.
Appreciate you guys, both of you, working hard over there.
100%. Not sure if you see the comments, man. Nate Bernard's pumping you up real good right now in the comments.
Oh, I appreciate it, Nate. You're the man.
Yeah, lots of good love there from you and your Dean as well. An interesting comment. He was a super fan at first, got his shot, and now he's killing it. Do you view yourself like that?
100%. 100%. That's really well put, actually. I was just actually going to say that. Nate nailed it right on the head. It started off as just being a fan, just the love of the game and the sport in general. I always tell my story is like I literally watched Dumpling in a barn slapping the piss out of people, and then it moved to like a factory or warehouse or something like that. Like, and then it was like all of a sudden it was kind of over in the United States for a little bit, but not really sanctioned or regulated yet. And then boom, Dana White, popped it up, and I was like, I'm going to wait till the rules get a little ironed out and they start figuring stuff out, and then I definitely want a shot. And it's funny because I said to my wife, I was like, I could do this. And she's like, if you do, just make sure you're all the way in. Like, don't just put like a toe in, don't be 50% in, like your other, balls deep or don't do it at all. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to do this. And then I started training, lost a bunch of weight, completely changed my body, recomposition around. And yeah, it was a step in the right direction. So I really got to, thank Power Slap for giving me the opportunity, but also helping me change my life around too, getting in better shape, getting healthier, and of course, give me a platform to perform something that I love. And I've been a super fan of for how long. So it's incredible. And then, hats off to everybody that competes. I got nothing but respect for anybody that wants to go up there. It's, we say it all the time. Anybody can get hit on the button and go down at any time. All it takes is the right technique and the right placement, and it could happen to any of us. So it's, to see some of the comments that it's like, oh, this is no skill. It's like, there's a lot more to it than what meets the eye. And it's hard to see until you're actually up there and you're performing to actually, grasp everything at that time. But I think as people get more knowledgeable of the sport, I think a lot of views are going to change very quickly on, especially seeing some of these athletes coming in now. And I'm sure future athletes are going to be, just as better or just as good, if not better. Right. So we're definitely seeing it grow and expand, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
Let me try to do something interesting. Sorry, Court. If we were on a real like stage setting, right, live in person, you'd be walking backstage right now as you exit, and another person will be coming in. So I want to give you the opportunity to walk past the person that's going to be coming in. Somebody that I think you know very well, Rod Alavi, man.
Hey, my boy.
What's up, guys?
What's up, homie?
What's up?
Not much, brother. How are you?
I'm great, man. It was phenomenal to watch, bro. We had a good one.
Finally got to watch it back, man. What a war.
Know, right?
What an absolute war.
It was phenomenal, man. I wish they put more in. The story was there to be told, The story was there to be told.
That's just it. Like, I'm glad that they kind of showed, like, okay, guys weren't medically cleared, and we had to face off, and we manned up, and we put on a hell of a show. That's for sure. So, it was funny because me and Ron were talking in the house. Do you remember when we were in the house and we're like, we really didn't want to fight each other? And like, we were roommates and everything too, but we're like, we really don't want to fight each other. And I said to you, I was like, watch, we're going to end up fighting in the finale just because we said this. And sure enough, if that was pretty much the welterweight finale, like, is in my mind, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
there's no more welterweights left. That was it.
I knew you were the toughest one there. I was doing the numbers. I was like, well, there's Waylon, there's Neil, and I was looking at you and I was like, this is for sure going to be the toughest one. For sure, it's going to be the toughest one, and it was. So, hats off to you, brother.
Yeah, vice versa.
In your division is seems to be tuning in.
Blackburn, what's up, Blackburn?
There he is. Defend my title, yeah, Hall of Famer. There you go.
Well, Vince, it's been a pleasure, man.
Yes, thank you, guys.
Jump over to Rod, man. Great fight. Congratulations on the win. Thank you for joining us. And as you know, you always have a home here at Slap News.
Appreciate you guys. Take care. Enjoy your night, everybody.
Take care, brother.
Have a good night, brother.
Rod, right off the bat, my man.
What's
anything you want to say anything you want to say or rebut that Vince just said? Because I know you were sitting there in the back.
I agree with everything, man. You know what? Vince has the most discipline right next to the Chief of anyone in that show of that season 3. He has the most discipline of anyone there, man. He works out twice a day. I'm pretty sure he's been training for this for years. Hats off to him. He beat me straight out of just because of discipline, and it lights a fire under me to get some discipline. Go out there. Next time it's going to be nicer.
Awesome, man. Talk to me, dude. Like, you have such a chill, laid back attitude, carefree. Looks like you're loving life every single moment. Like, is that just a facade? Like, how bad do you want this? Like, on a scale of like having fun and like actually want this, like, where is that meter at?
You know what? I took that with a month's notice. I hadn't been in the gym in 2 years. I hadn't trained martial arts in 4 years. I got the call and I was like, heck yeah, I'll do it. So when I went into the show, I went in with the fun, like, I've never been dropped. I've knocked out everyone ever fought. Let's see how it goes. I'm drinking, I'm smoking. But you know what? Looking back on it now, I actually have the drive and I have the desire to actually really be good at it. I did it as more of like a fun little thing. And now I'm actually really about it. So, I just actually got back in the gym. I finally healed up my body. I was doing some physical therapy. And I'm ready to go, man. So next fight is going to be a lot cleaner. Let me tell you.
Yeah. I mean, that first strike from Vince, the ref came over, he had talked about that roll, clearly got hit high. Was there any sustained injury there longer term? And I mean, like, dude, how'd that feel?
Well, the first hit wasn't that bad, man. You know what? Like he was talking about my defense. So it's not a flinch if you go with it after the strike. So there's this guy Archer. He goes before it, right? It's obviously a flinch. I'm staying hard, but I'm going with the blows to not absorb as much of it as possible, So I'm absorbing it, but I'm just letting it move me. So he called it to me on that. I watched it back and I didn't move before the strike, so it's not a flinch. But I was worried about it. Didn't really hurt as bad. It was the second hit that really hit me, because I sit there and I absorbed all of it because I was scared of a flinch. And that was 100% the hardest I've ever been hit in my life. I got concussed after that one. Obviously, you could see from my next 2 strikes, I really didn't have my feet placement there. I really thought I was going to get knocked out on the third one 100%, man. I'm surprised I did it.
Crazy.
I was not there. I was not there.
I mean, that first and that third strike from Vince looked very, very similar. From my perspective, the way that it hit, it was slightly higher. The trajectory of his arm. That second one for sure was definitely, the most impact and damage. And, you kind of had that comment too, like, oh, like that, that was a good one. So I thought that all that was quite interesting, but talk to me, man. You pull out that, soul slicer in round 1. Like,
yeah, man.
Did you think he was getting up?
Huh? Sorry.
Did you think he was getting up?
I thought so. The way he was composed on the ground, I knew if they called it, it would have been a shame, So I thought he was going to get up. I never lose the ability or the thought of my opponent's going to hit me again until they call it, Because if you go from hot to cold to hot, you're losing a lot of energy. You're losing a lot of power. I knew he was going to get up, and I was just ready to take the next one. And you know what? He got it perfect, right on the fucking money. The difference, like you said, between the first shot, the third shot, and the second shot, which really got me, was just placement. He got me right on the jaw. The other 2 were a little high. He got me more on the temple. I don't think there were clubs. 100% I clubbed him. I felt it immediately. And yeah, it's just a testament to his discipline, how much he trained. I threw maybe 20 slaps in the air before I got to the show. I think Vince has thrown maybe 10,000 of those. It's every strike is the exact same. He's a technician, man. He's a real technician. He's a real tough guy, and he's gonna be a killer for that welterweight class.
Yeah, I mean, I love hearing the respect, and I got to give you props. You pulled all the way back, man. OG Kody Hrastnik from season 1. The game changer. Not a lot of guys know him, so you're obviously studying, man. You're taking it more serious than your attitude.
I watched every fight now. Before I got into Power Slap, I watched maybe 2 fights, just 2 clips from TikTok. Never seen it. I was just like, I could do this. Now I've watched every single fight. Studied everyone's technique, and I'm starting to train, and I'm gonna be a problem. I'm gonna be a real problem.
Yeah, Sting, over to you, my man.
Rod, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for joining us. I'm gonna wish you congratulations because I think you had a great fight. Number one, I said it when you were backstage, and I'll say it again. Your mistake was the foul in round 2. That was what made it so you really couldn't come back from whatever happened in round 2. Because just based on the way the scoring works. You were down 2 points in round 2, but you were only up 1 point in round 1. So you then became down. You were going into the next round behind already, which usually doesn't happen in the second round if you gave up 1 and you won 1. So, obviously it's just something for you in the future to think about. If you know, hey, look, I'm probably losing this round, you don't have to hit him with everything.
I tried. Hey, I had a question. If you down him, isn't it a 10-8? That's how it is in boxing, right?
If he drops, it's supposed to be a 10-8.
So I would be even going into the round 3, no? Because I clubbed him. I lost the round.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, and that's the issue. That's kind of where that's kind of where I was a little disappointed that they didn't read the scores out because I wanted to know kind of where that landed and how he got the decision.
Yeah.
But you
I
bring up
thought it
a
was going to
valid
be
point. You
unanimous
should-
Vince, honestly. I thought it was going to be straight unanimous. When I heard split decision, I was a bit surprised. You know, obviously I'm not all there. I'm concussed. But when they said split decision, I was pretty surprised. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I saw you do like an inch, and you did it in your first fight when you hurt your shoulder. You kind of did it again, I think, in round 3, where you kind of like went like this after the strike. It was very subtle. Was there any? Am I missing? You know, did I see that correctly? Like, did you hurt yourself again in
You
some
got
way?
good eyes, man. Well, dude, I tore my rotator cuff on that first fight, so I was going into it injured.
Oh, that's right.
Obviously, we're all sick. Everyone was sick, but obviously, the injury didn't help me. But you know what? When the adrenaline pumps, when I accepted that fight, it was a 20-minute notice, man. And I thought if I accept this, I'm probably gonna get knocked out, man. I'm coughing in the back. I'd thrown up earlier that day. And I looked at Vince and I just saw all his training that he'd put in. And I looked in his eyes and he's like, "Do you want to take it?" And I saw him and I was like, I thought I was going to get knocked out if I took it, and I accepted it. And as soon as I accepted it, I swear on my mother's life, I'm not a religious person, I felt a golden light, like God, wash over me. I didn't feel my shoulder anymore. I didn't feel my sickness anymore. And I went out there to try to kill him, you know? And, man, I did not feel that shoulder until that hit. But yeah, you know what? When the adrenaline is pumping, it's just pain, you know? It's nothing. My shoulder's pretty much healed at this point, so I'll be back.
Yeah, is any part of you concerned that, like, as time goes on, obviously the first experience that you have in slap, you tear your rotator cuff. Is any part of you worried that this might be a problem, you know, as time goes on?
Well, dude, I hadn't been in the gym in 2 years. I hadn't trained martial arts in 4 years. I came straight cold into it. Now I'm actually training. I'm strengthening the ligaments, the tendons, the muscles, and I'm confident it won't happen again, you know? So it's just a matter of how much work you put in and conditioning your body to strike a human skull at 100%, you know?
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you, you talked about it a little bit a minute ago, kind of rolling and absorbing the strike and letting it kind of move you. You're one of those people that even though you take the strike well, particularly round 1 and round 3, obviously round 2 was a weird one because you actually were shaken by that hit. But round 1 and round 3, you seem like you absorbed it really well, but you turn a lot more than probably most people that I've seen when they absorb a strike and they're not hurt by any means as far as they look. Is that something that you think, because optically it almost looks like it does more to you than it actually does because you move so much. Your feet don't move, but your body turns. And I can, if you don't know what I mean, we can play the video. I can kind of show you.
Sure. I mean, I know exactly. I did it on purpose. It was a technique.
Okay. So you do know what I'm talking about. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. No, it was all on purpose.
Okay. And so you in hindsight, you think that that's something that you'll continue to do. You don't.
I lost audio from you guys.
Uh-oh.
All right. You guys are back, I think.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. So let me just roll this again. So is that something that you think you'll continue to do as time goes on?
Man, it's something that's so hard to actually do if you know how to do it. It's down to milliseconds, man. Like I was talking about Archer, he did it way too early. You get called for a flinch, you're gonna get hit again.
Yeah,
it's down to 10 milliseconds, maybe, you know. So as soon as I feel that hit actually hit my jaw, I'm going with it. If you can do, in my opinion, if you can do it, it should be a part of defense. You know, if you can't do it, you're gonna take a lot more damage. Obviously, optically, it looks worse for the judges, but I don't give a fuck about the judges. I'm trying to knock my opponent out, and I'm trying to take as least amount of damage as possible to the point within the rules, you know? If they change the rules, I'll stop doing it, but I think I'm going to maintain my game. It definitely helps. If you're thinking about longevity, taking hard-ass strikes all day, man, you can't do this for years and years if you're taking the full force. I'm so tough. You have to go with it. You have to kind of go, you know, just let it throw you, you know, make the strike a push. That's how I think about it. And turning your body is how you do that, you know, go with it.
Listen, it's a very unique strategy. And I appreciate that you're able to walk us through it. Cause I don't think I've ever heard anybody say it that way, but it makes sense when you say your goal is to put your opponent out. You know, you don't really want to hear from the judges. So I totally understand that perspective. I don't know if you noticed this, but I think it was strike number 3 as you were getting into the box. Dana said that you were too close, and Frank looked like he kind of agreed with you. Agreed with him. Do you, in hindsight, think you were too close during that strike?
Yeah, well, after the second hit, so he hits me the second time, and now it's my turn to go the second time. His second hit on me concussed me, man. So I lost all my like my training of I gotta step back after I get my measure, and because I lost that, I was too close. Like they said, I was way too close. My first fight against Tyler, the first hit I was too close, and I got back when I touched his jaw, I got back a half step, like you said. And I think Trujillo even told me that, but dude, I don't even remember him telling me that. Man, I was not there. So it just was a testament to how hard Vince hit me. It was the hardest I've ever been hit in my life. I've been hit by 300-pound fools before, man. That was the hardest I've ever been hit in my life, 100%. And so I was just not all there, and I couldn't think of my technique in the moment, which goes back to repetition, discipline, training. Didn't train for it, got what's coming to me. That's just how it is.
Man, your perspective is incredible. I love just how raw and real you are about kind of where you're at, and you accept what it is. It's something that we rarely see. So hats off to you. And I'm sure, just like me, a lot of people admire it. Final thing, obviously you lose, right? But I don't think your stock drops from a fight like that, and that's rare. Just given your performance, and then again, I think there's some things that you can sort of tune up, and you'll be right back out there. Do you have your eye on anybody? Is there anyone that you kind of see as a person that can get you back, kind of right back to the road that you would be on if you would have gotten that win in round number 2?
I'm down to fight King Kong, bro. I'll fight anyone in the welterweight class. I just ask that they're ranked. And if I'm ranked in the top 10 after this, I just ask that they're ranked above me. You know what? But I'll fight anyone. I'll fight Joe Blow. I'll fight Blackburn. I'll fight Muniz. I'll fight anyone, bro. I'm confident with the training that I'm doing now that I'm going to be a real menace. If I could come off the couch and do what I did in those 2 fights, imagine when I actually start training for this. I did 0 training. Nothing. No cardio. Haven't ran a mile in 4 years. Haven't done nothing. So if this is just from my natural ability, imagine what happens when I actually start training, and give me a couple months and I'll take out the best of them.
Incredible, man. Court, anything?
Awesome, man. Yeah, just appreciate you joining us always. Great insight. Great conversation as always. Can you give us any insight of what happened to Waylon Frost and or the other competitor that dropped out? Like, do you have any background you can add to the context?
Sure. I don't want to speak for other people, but obviously, like they said in the show, they weren't medically cleared. So Waylon had it probably the worst out of anyone in the house. The sickness, I'm sure you've heard of it before. There's a lot of us that were sick. Vince was sick a few days before me. He's my roommate, so I'm trying to sit in the corner of the room. Waylon had it pretty bad to the point where they had to put him in a different in like an apartment or something, or a different house, just to separate him from us. And with 20 minutes left, I'm in the locker room ready for our fight. Frank comes out. He's like, dude, you didn't get medically cleared. I'm sorry. Me, I'm sitting there. I'm pretty sick too. I was like, well, you know what? I don't question God. It's not meant to be. Another 10, 15 minutes go by, and he comes back and gets Vince. He's like, Neil dropped out, man. He didn't get medically cleared. Now Vince is down bad. And then another 10 minutes go by, and he brings us back. We accept the fight on like a 20-minute notice, and they made us the main event. That's really what happened. But I wanted Waylon, and you know what? To go back to your last question, I'd like Waylon next, honestly, because when I look in Waylon's eyes, I see a lion, man. I see a tough fight. He's a tough motherfucker. Don't let the 2-3 record fool you, man. That fool's a demon. So if I could pick anyone out of the welterweight class, I'd pick Waylon to fight next.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you as always. Much love and respect. You have a home here, as we said, for Vince. And can't wait to see you next time, man, because you're certainly entertaining.
Appreciate you guys, man. Love you guys.
Awesome.
You guys have a good night.
Take care, man.
Cheers,
Thanks,
brother.
Yes, sir. You too.
Ding. Great show. Yeah, great show, man. Actually, you know what? I didn't think we get that from him, to be honest. Got to give him a lot of props for everything, taking it really well. Overall, I mean, great dude. I'm gonna put you on the spot before we keep rolling. One last time. Who is gonna be the first Canadian in power slap to get a title shot?
Dude, hopefully fucking Trudeau, dude. I have no idea. I don't know. All right, let's go through who we got. We got Bovair, we got Brahimir, we got Vince, we've got
Dakota,
we've got
Brandon Kerr.
Oh, he is fucking Canadian, isn't he?
He is.
He's like Canadian Scottish. It's like
Yeah.
weird. I'm gonna say between Bovair and Dakota. I think they need to fight. I really do believe they need to fight. Tough fucking guys, man. Tough guys. But I agree with you, man, about Rod. I was impressed. And if Nate Bernard's still here in the chat, you're gonna want to strap in, put your seatbelt on for this next one. Amir, Waylon Frost is an OG. All right. We got it. We're just trying to be respectful to everybody, but we there's levels. We know this, season 2 is those guys have been around.
I'm gonna put it publicly. Amir, we want you on Smack Talk this coming week. All right.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna be in touch. Can we book that? Can we make it happen, Ding?
I think we can.
It's been a while. We haven't heard Amir Nuruddin. He's a big
but see,
the
the Chief is somebody I'd love to talk to, but he's what's the point of talking to him before his fight airs? So that's why we haven't talked to the Chief, because I know he's got a lot to say, and they've been showing him the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, Amir is King Smack Talk, dude. Like, wouldn't be the show?
Smack Talk is Amir's show, bro.
It is.
So, all right, but I want to be respectful to our next guest. Like I promised, Nate Bernard, you know this guy. We all know this guy, but you know this guy a lot. RJ, Ronald Staton, what's up, brother?
How you guys doing?
Is this a Slap News first?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it is. It's his debut. Ronald, would you be able to just turn your volume down a little bit? There's a lot of feedback. I don't want the audience to quit watching us. Let's see. Testing. That's better. That's doable. Thanks, buddy. How are you, man? Obviously not the way anybody wants to win, but congratulations, it's a win.
definitely not the best win, but we're going to take it and we'll move forward from that.
Yeah, I mean, your initial thoughts when you look at that fight. Obviously, you didn't get to showcase your skill set, but we saw you at Power Slap 7, right? You get that job done against Will Woods in a slap him out, kind of drag him out war. Now you come back to season 3 of the show after being on season 2. Also had a similar thing happen, but there was no foul, so you that was kind of a shorter one for you. You get this moment, you're excited for it, and this is how it ends. What were your thoughts?
Definitely disappointing. It was such a short notice thing. Erica, had got to me, like a day before I need to go out there. She asked me, she's like, "Hey, I need you in a pinch. Can you come out?" Of course I said yes. I went out there, had hopes that I was going to be able to take care of that and then take care of this one, how I did on Power Slap 7. And then unfortunately it didn't go that way. It definitely did bum me out. Like you said, a win is a win, but it's not the way I wanted it to go out. I definitely wanted to, get another win and kind of stack the wins and keep that ball rolling, into the future.
Yeah, but you still get a win, so it keeps you in that column. So you now move to 2-1. It's a weird one. We've seen they don't, Power Slap, the leadership there doesn't really value disqualification wins much. So I don't know exactly what it does, but it's definitely not a backward step. Now for you, obviously having been, I don't know if you were unconscious. I mean, I know your body kind of locked up, but just that incurring that kind of damage, what are your thoughts overall? Obviously it's now happened a second time. Do you feel like you're kind of like, oh man, like now I got to kind of go through this again? I'm, if you will, people say the more times you get knocked out, the more, your chin kind of gets a little bit depleted. Do you buy into that? Do you subscribe to that idea at all?
Not at all. I feel like there's definitely certain, stipulations, certain situations where people are getting knocked out or they are, out, and, they come back even stronger. In my opinion, I mean, it's the only way you can test your chin is to really, go out there and, put it to the test against, whether that's, one person or multiple people or, any situation. I feel like that's the only way you can make your chin stronger is by doing that. I feel like going out there and, getting put down twice, I felt like it just made me stronger. You know what I mean? Like I know what to expect. I know, where the weak points are on my chin, and I know how to, at least try to strengthen those areas the best that I can.
Now, do you think objectively, if that was a clean strike, do you think he's that powerful? He meaning Brandon Rhodes, or do you feel like you would have kind of been able to?
I've taken a lot of punches, a lot of hits in my days. there was not enough power. I mean, he didn't even leave a mark on my chin. There was nothing there after that. So, as far as the power being there, if it would have been a clean strike, it would have been like lunch. I mean, that would have been, nothing. We'd have, picked it up and kept going, So, as far as the power being there, I don't think that would have been a problem.
Obviously, for him, it was kind of a weird one because he fights on the show at light heavyweight. Before the show even starts to air, he's on a numbered card facing off at middleweight. Obviously, doesn't get that job done for him. But for you, given the way that it ended, do you at some point in time, even if you don't currently now, but did you kind of want that back? Was that something that you felt like you needed to get redemption for?
At one point, I kind of did. It was kind of in the back of my mind. It was never like a primary thing that I was thinking about getting back. I would say, honestly, the Garrett fight was more intriguing to me to get that back than this one, honestly. I kind of, like I said, I came into that house knowing he wasn't really going to be that much, and it unfortunately went the way it did. Now that I look at it, they make him drop a weight because he just doesn't have the power to stay with the light heavyweights. And, there's no disrespect, but, size does play a factor in certain things. And if you don't have the power, I there's definitely a lot of, I wouldn't say like myths that, certain weights can hold certain powers. Like there's definitely some light heavyweights that can bang with the super heavyweights, and vice versa. It might be some welterweights that can bang with the light heavyweights. But for the most part, in my opinion, I think each weight class is, prevalent to what they should be. And I feel like he needs to be at that middleweight class. So him going to that middleweight class and then losing in the middleweight class, I felt like that was kind of just one where I kind of got to get up and brush it off and keep moving.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, not the way you want to win, but nonetheless a win. So congratulations. That brings you up to 2-1. So would you say it's fair to say that, Garrett Blakesley's a guy that you have your eye on in your division?
Yeah, definitely. I would hope to, within the next, year, maybe year and a half's worth of time, be able to set that fight up again. Maybe we'll have to go through a couple people, each of us, test our, feet in, it's going to have to happen somehow. You know what I mean? I mean, he's higher on the ranks right now. I'm not ranked, but down the line, that's definitely a fight I want to get. I want to get matched up again because I feel like I need that back.
Awesome, man. Congratulations, Core.
Yeah, Ronald, man. Just been looking through the chats. This is actually the fourth time I'm glad we were able to finally get you on. The first two times we tried, we weren't able to line up schedules. The third time, people don't know this, but I actually had you ready to go for an interview. I get a message the night before, and you're like, hey, man, last minute fill-in, I'm flying out. I can't make the interview. So great that we're able to finally get you here on the debut. Talk to me, man, about being that last minute fill-in. Do you kind of prefer it in a way that you didn't know, you didn't have time to get nervous or anything else? It was just like, boom, on the flight, there you go, perform?
I wouldn't say I get nerves. I mean, you kind of go on a stage, that last minute stage dump really is the only time you're going to get nerves, for me at least. So I don't think it really makes a difference whether I know, 2 months in advance with a normal card or maybe a day in advance. I felt like I went into the same situation, feeling the same feelings. But I definitely do like having that no notice, feeling behind it, going in there, nobody knows that I'm coming or whatever the case may be. It's a last minute kind of thing. You kind of step up and you fill that spot, especially if you get a win, it makes it feel even better.
Totally. Where do you think you kind of sit with the Brasa Power Slap right now? I mean, you've kind of had some ups and downs. We haven't seen you on that live card. Like, do you think that's the next step for you? Do you think that, like, have you had any convos? Do you expect that we'll see you again soon?
Yeah, definitely. There's going to be some stuff in the works, I would imagine. So hopefully that I get, that next shot on whatever, the next live card is. I just feel, I got stuff to prove on that live card. And then I feel like once I get to that platform, it's going to be lights out. I'm not going to be able to be stopped from there. It's just been an unfortunate, roller coaster. Like you said, it's kind of, ups and downs. Couple wins, couple losses. It's just kind of a traumatic, fun, multiple emotion kind of experience. And, it's led us to here. So we kind of just got to, keep our head up and keep moving and just keep preparing for whatever's in front.
No, absolutely. Do you, Do you want to watch the match back or not? I mean, you can decline, no issues, but I just wanted to
It
give you that respects first.
You guys want to put it up there? We can put it up there. I didn't even get to watch it, so.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, let's watch it, man. I want you to talk through what's going on here, okay? So you've got a substantial, almost 9-pound difference here. So talk to me, man. You're walking up there. What's going through your head?
Yep. So I'm up there. I'm thinking that this is going to be an easy hit. I feel like, it was just the way it was, the way he was talking in the house. There wasn't really a presence thing, I felt like, up there, there was no emotions. It wasn't like it was before. To me, it was just a lot different. And then, I felt like, I don't remember going out. I think that's just kind of a thing that happens. But, going up there, I mean, like I said, there's that last minute adrenaline dump for everybody. Some people get it, worse than others. But I go up there, I know what I got to do, and I got to handle business. And unfortunately, it kind of didn't work out that way. I felt like, going up there, I felt like that was going to be an easy shot. I was going to come back, crack him, and then it was going to be over on my part, clean hit. Because I know, I imagine you guys watched back the fight on Will. All my slaps were pretty clean. They came with power. And,
Well, they show it. Yeah, they showed your fight. Like, I mean, quickly. When they were kind of talking about you, they showed your fight.
Yeah. So I felt like that was going to be the case, and then I felt like after waking up from being put out, it was like, oh man, like I can't believe that happened. I feel like once I found out that it wasn't a clean hit, it makes you feel a little bit better. But it's still like, man, even if you get a win, like you were talking, a win is a win, but it's not the way you want to win. It's not a true win. In my opinion, it's more like just somebody giving you a win or giving you the succeeding last hit. It's not it's not the way you want to go out at all. I prefer to lose. It sounds bad, but I'd rather have a clean win than kind of a dirty win. So I'd rather lose fair and square, but it doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah. Awesome, my man. I appreciate you joining us. Much love. Reach out anytime. You got stuff going on, man. Let us know. And yeah, we've got a platform for you. All right.
Sounds good. Thank you guys. You guys
Thanks for joining us, brother.
Thank you.
All right. Nice, my man. All right. Working off what he just said.
What did you do, bro?
What did I do? I brought in, I'm going to give him a new nickname. I'm going to call him the Dirty Big Bird. What's going on, Big Bird?
What's up, baby? How y'all doing?
Good, man. I know that hand gesture drives the hell out of
pisses Stony Air bad.
Oh, it makes everybody fucking mad. You saw how Darius got off on that stage too. Darius don't talk shit to nobody.
Dude, great to see you, man. Great to see your smile. Watching it back, how does it feel?
It's good, man. It was a good matchup. I'm glad the people got to finally see it. I was really just interested in what Dana had to say about it, because obviously I knew the whole thing was clean this time, and I was really proud of that performance. Mm-hmm. Darius had said as soon as he knew it was going to the judges that he knew it was his fight. He said in the third round that I was stumbling away when he hit me. I was not rocked nor stumbled in that fight, not one fucking bit. I stepped back, turned around, and walked away. That was it. Then I laughed at him again.
Yeah.
So I think the judges definitely went the wrong way with that, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? We're going to be back.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we've seen you at UFC X, so there's a lot of anticipation that we wanted to see how you perform. Obviously, we talked about, Mitchell Sipe and the club on him that he had, all the way back to the trials. And so, you sat there, you were patient, you were dedicated, you didn't give up, you didn't get deterred away from not getting that call. And you get the opportunity to come on the show, and be part of that and go up against a legend like Darius the Destroyer. Talk to me, how do you go and you say, okay, like, yes, this guy is legendary and, but I want to take his head off at the same time. Like, were you conflicted at all? Or was it just like, this is just straight war?
No, it was honestly a fight that I had called for already. What was super exciting about being able to get into the house was I got 2 of like 3 or 4 matches that I had called Erica for on several occasions already. I talked a little bit of shit on social media to Darius, and let everybody know I thought he was on his way out. He needed to retire. And, he proved why he still belongs here and why he's ready to ready to keep doing this and get back on the wagon with it, you know?
Yeah, 100%. You mind to do kind of a walk along, I guess, with the video? Talk us through kind of how the match went from your perspective. And Ding, if you want to narrate this with them, go ahead.
Yeah, man. Big Bird, obviously, I saw you at UFCX, so great to see you again.
Yes, sir.
This was an interesting one, man, because first of all, Darius was wearing shoes. Did you notice that?
I didn't, honestly. I didn't pay too much attention to too much detail. I was excited that a name that I drew out of my hat was somebody I wanted, you know, so I was just ready for war in that moment.
Yeah, so we see this first strike here. He and Frank talks about this, you know, it seems like he barely gets you.
Yeah, so with that shot, he actually got me right in the orbital. He didn't get me quite flush on the cheek, so I was a little surprised they didn't call it as a club, but being as it was just his fingers, I kind of see why. But he skipped that right across my nose.
Let's see here. So you get him. Did you expect anything different than what you got? I mean, we've seen every fight he's been in with the exception of Wolverine.
Not necessarily. I couldn't say that I mean, I knew he was going to have a chin coming in, but I definitely thought my power was going to bring a little bit more to him than he had before. So I definitely underestimated the chin.
Yeah, we see his signature wind up. He seemed to get you a little bit better on that one, but still same issue. And I think this is actually when Frank and Dana make the comment that, you know, he's kind of all fingertips.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, you can see him. Yep. So in that moment, though, are you feeling that? Like you can tell, all right, he's not getting me with his whole hand?
Yeah, I could tell it wasn't flush. It kind of felt, I want to say it felt like a club, but like you could tell it wasn't too far back. It was just a sense of knowing it wasn't all there, you know. So it was a lot easier to take in that sense.
Yeah, I was kind of weirded out because from the angle we saw in the initial part of the strike, he's like touching the top of his head. And I'll tell you this just straight up, I do think the strike was high. I would probably call that if I was a referee.
Right.
I'm not a referee though, so I'm gonna say, you know, it is what it is.
Seeing it in slow motion, I thought it was a little high too. But being as it got called clean, I'm gonna just stick with what Frank said. You know what
I mean? It's funny. That was in my notes to ask, like, did you think Frank was being honest? This one, he seems to get you a little bit better. But again, I mean, you take these strikes well. You have good response. And
right. See, that's what I was talking about with the wobble thing. Like, you see how I kind of just sit back so I can absorb it, and then I'm like, it kind of makes me wonder if the referees thought I was rocked, you know, and that's why they might have pushed it farther in his direction. But when I saw the slow motion and the second slap, I could kind of see where they would have taken that.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this a little bit earlier. Them not reading out the scores for the decisions is kind of frustrating because it doesn't really give us much of a basis to understand, you know, what rounds could have went one way or the other.
Right.
I just think, to be honest, and again, with the exception of the Wolverine fight, this is kind of Darius's MO. He looks that way every time he takes a strike. You know, and I think I don't think it has anything to do with whether you're powerful or you're not powerful. I just think that the guy, like, he's
got a solid chin on him.
Yeah, he's got an ironclad chin, and I think that's probably what the difference maker was. If I'm a judge,
right?
You know that you turn your head a little more. I think at one point you took like one slight step backwards. I'd have a tough time judging it, but I agree with you. I think it was like really, really thin. I don't think anybody would have said, "Oh my God," if you got the nod, oh, you know, it's a robbery or anything like that.
Yeah, I was completely happy with the outcome. There's no bad blood for me on that one. I was after watching it, you know, I was accepting of it, being in it and like anticipating, waiting for it to come up. I was like, nah, fuck that, I won.
Well, what do you think that means for you in the grand scheme of things? Obviously, you talked about, you know, that puts you now at 0-3.
Yeah.
Right, and he was 0-3, so this was kind of his moment. Obviously, he's had wins in the past in other promotions, so his official record is 17-3, and I guess now 18-3. Do you think? I mean, he kind of needed to win that fight. Do you think that you were kind of in the same category? Where do you think that puts you now?
he absolutely needed to win that fight. I think, in a sense, they're still trying to use me as a crutch for people. The thing with Mitchell, he was a big name. He was a big talent that was already on Tough and The Ultimate Fighter. But there was also behind the scenes things that happened with that. And I'm not scared to fight anybody. I'll take any man on this planet, and I'm ready to take the biggest and baddest of the world. But I think for me personally, they fed me nothing but top contenders. So I think that I can continue trying to fight these higher ups, or at least top 10, and try to earn my spot there at the bottom of the totem pole so I can try to start climbing to the top.
Love it, man. Class act. You got up there with a legend, and you stood your ground. And like I said, you lost a unanimous decision, but I think it was razor thin. There wasn't a ton of things to judge. You guys both were just units standing up there. Nobody was on each other per se. Not that you weren't trying, but again, I mean, you're going up there against a guy who's been slapped a lot of times.
Yeah, at one point in time was known as the greatest of all time at what we do, so to be able to stand across from him and just kind of walk right through that was it was motivating on its own for myself.
Awesome, man. Core?
Yeah, man, great to see you again. Up there, obviously still got your name in it. You're still ready. You're still training. Maybe we'll see you. You kind of came. I thought the first time we seen you, correct me if I'm wrong, weren't you in the 230s the first time we seen you up there? I seen you at 254 right now.
Yeah, when I fought Mitchell, I was at about 234, 235. So with the time that I had taken off, I haven't been in MMA for about 3 years because my gym closed down because of COVID. And so it was when Power Slap came, it was really easy to throw my focus on that because you can kind of do that a little bit more on your own time and work around things with that, And so I just really put the focus on that. And MMA's really been the only thing that kind of helped me lose weight, and being that dedicated and advocated to it every single day. And so being as I didn't have that, I figured, just get bigger and better at what you're at right now. Do better where you're at right now, and show them that you're here to stay, and it doesn't matter where they put you at. You're going to be a force to reckon with.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm going to put a challenge out there for you. All right. I want to see you at light heavy next time I see you.
At light heavyweight, I got you all day.
Light heavy. All right, my man. Appreciate you, dude. Stay in touch. We'll talk again soon. All right.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Appreciate talking to you guys.
Take care, man. Have all the best. There we go, Ding. Put the bounty out there. Want to see the big bird at light heavyweight. And I guess we'll call him the little bird at that point.
That's a good one. I like it, man. I enjoyed the house this episode, man. I thought Riley wearing Blake's dentures was absolutely disgusting. That was fucking gross. I was there watching. I'm like, he's not gonna do it. There's no way.
Yeah.
Puts it in, then says it tastes. Oh, bro, no.
Yeah, and we're at that turning point now where they're not hiding. You're seeing Alan Klingbeil in the background. You're seeing Amir come onto the show. We've seen Manny there. We don't really know why he was there. I do know there was a post circulating, online. Obviously, Azael Rodriguez was seen, backstage, kind of in the producer part with Austin Turpin. Maybe we'll see him make an appearance, on the show, and we'll see. We're kind of getting that more. Everything's falling out. I mean, dude, that soccer kick to the face, is that as disrespectful as they made it out to be? And what King DeFrank was talking by the pool?
I mean, I think it's war, man. These guys hate each other. I don't think there's rules in war.
Coming from the guy that was in the Navy.
What was interesting about the whole thing was they were slapping each other. They committed to not punching each other.
Yeah,
they were slapping each other, and I thought that was hilarious. But we did see Pono. See, I said it, and I forgot who was like, "Oh, he's an MMA fighter. He's doing just fine." I respect that, but it's still his brother, and I'm not watching my brother get kicked in the fucking head or slapped or anything. If I'm standing there, it's just not gonna happen. That's your mistake for thinking it's gonna happen in front of me, and I just think I was shocked. So seeing Pono at the very end of that engagement, it made more sense. I was like, that's what I was looking for, especially given the fact that we know more about Pono now. He wears his heart on his sleeve. Yeah. I was just waiting for the moment. And I think even at one point, Kurt is getting talked to outside by Seekman and Luke Simons. And he tells him, I'll fuck his I think he called him his fat ass brother up or something too. And I'm like, whoa, man, he's like really going crazy.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's great, man. You know what? I think we're getting into that meat and potatoes of it now. Obviously, you know, we're in the heart of September. Kids are back in school. Seems to be that momentum still picking up. I mean, it's great to see the numbers. I mean, I looked, you know, was you know the mid whatever 6.5K viewership when I looked at it there at one moment. We're still pushing along here. I can't remember, but I feel like this was the case. Is that as soon as the show is done, do they update the rankings before the live event? I feel like they did last time. I know right now, Brandon Rhodes and the Chief are already on there because we've seen those matches released from Power Slap 8. But I'm actually interested to see if we're going to get updated rankings before we get to Abu Dhabi.
Well, no, the Chief fought Landman a long time ago. We haven't. He actually went into the rankings without us seeing any additional activity from him, and we wondered like what was up with that. And again, I've been wanting to. I'll just say this: if he's here or whatever, I've been wanting to hear from the Chief for 9 fucking weeks. But because it doesn't make sense if your fight hasn't aired. You know, there's so much you can't say. It just doesn't make sense. Amir, we do love you, man. We will see you on Smack Talk Tuesday. You're free, released. We give you permission to go to bed, man. Another thing I just want to touch on before we wrap. Mark Smith, he was back with the hips need to touch the podium thing. They don't all do this, so I'm wondering do we need to have him touching? Do we not need to have him touching? I still don't understand, and I don't know what the rule is.
I actually think it was Nate Bernard that brought it up. He's like, they don't want you touching the table because they don't want you to break it.
Yeah, we've seen somebody fixing it after a strike once. I don't remember.
We have. Yeah. Which I think is interesting.
I personally think, and I'll say this, and I may eat my words, but I personally think if you get dropped, Kerry Hadley's probably the worst referee to be in your match. As far as determining whether you can continue or not. I think he's probably the least liberal when it comes to giving you some rope and leeway.
Yeah. All right. One last one for me, man. I'm going to put bad intentions into somebody's mind. But if anybody is going to pull the, you know, Adesanya and do the bow and arrow thing, or anyone's going to pull out the sword and all that stuff, and if you strikers listening, I need you to jump on the podium, on the table, and then do it. That will be one of the most badass moments in Power Strike history. What are they going to do? You already did it. I'm sure the commission will tackle you. I'm sure Frank will yell at you, but that's the worst that can happen. Get on that podium and give me a celebration.
Bro, you're first of all, this is like out into the internet now, so you can't even take it back. So when they do it and they say Slap News told me to do it, we can't say we did it.
Amazing. Okay, and then just rip the shirt off and have Slap News underneath it, under the jersey. You hit me up. I'll send anybody who says they will do it. I will give you a bonus if you do it, and I'll send you a bunch of free shirts.
Oh, that's crazy.
There we go.
Wow.
Yes,
he really
sir.
just put a bounty on that activity.
Yes, sir. There we go.
Well, I know what I won't be cutting from this week's episode.
Well, dude, for the people that watch this far, an hour and 20 minutes, you just got the hottest take of the night. We appreciate you all. I'm going squirrely now. It's bedtime, just like Amir Nuruddin. He's putting all the boys to sleep. Let's head out. Appreciate you all. Much love, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or on Rumble. We appreciate you. We'll be back next week on Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific. That's 7 p.m. in the East with Smack Talk. Take care, my man. Let's keep on rolling.